Hello and welcome for an update video for the 3rd of September. An update video for Archaeology Rush. Just before I crack on, I want to remind people that in the description there is a link to the itch.io, so if you're watching this you can also play the build, which is great. Now, I will admit that I had a week out from working on the game because of some life things that have been going on. And with that time away, I kind of realized that I've grown a little bit apathetic towards the direction of the game. I felt like the direction was a bit wrong to where I wanted to go with it. I didn't feel like it really hit the same note that I was trying to. And actually, most importantly, the interesting, unique selling point of this game had kind of been warped away. And so in my week off, I reflected and I sort of worked out one of the major problems with this game was that I was trying to do too many things. So in that, of course, I'm still want to and I'm going to finish the game in some form or another. But I needed a new plan to be able to come up with a new plan to be able to finish this game before, so I can move on to another project, but also so I can feel proud of this game. And so my important plan that I came up with to restore the unique selling point of this game, which was, I felt, the cooperative, competitive puzzle platformer gameplay, which is not the shortest of elevator pitches, but I felt like was crucial to actually getting this game in a position where it had something interesting and unique. So to restore that kind of cooperative, competitive gameplay, the most important thing is that I decided I'm going to remove the single player from the game. I felt kind of uncomfortable making both a multiplayer and a single player game. This game's designed to be multiplayer. It's going to be unashamedly multiplayer now. And you just won't be able to play it single player. All of the single player is removed. There's no point to it. I don't think it highlights the best thing. I can do more now that I know that at least 2 players are playing. 2 to 4 players is the game. I appreciate from a commercial point of view, that's probably not the greatest idea, but who cares? Who makes games at this level to be commercially successful? I make games because I enjoy making games. The next thing is I wanted to remove the letters feature. I felt like it was kind of too big, hadn't really got what I had been aiming for. And so one of the things I've neglected to mention is that this kind of direction is what I call in my head versus direction. It is a 1v1v1v1. So 1v1 and up to 1v1v1v1. So 2 to 4 player versus. And I felt like the letters didn't really make sense. And what I was trying to do was add a little bit of kind of like the ability to sort of feel like you were getting feedback and drive the narrative forward. But I felt like I couldn't do it as well as I wanted to do it. I'm sure it would have been a great feature if it had been done with someone with a little bit more capable art-wise. But that's not me. That's fine. So I'm removing letters, but I am replacing it. Like the letters feature did have a purpose, and I'm replacing it with something simpler. So let's removing letters and just simplifying down that feature. And then I've decided also to combine the demo chapters. So previously we had chapters for Henry Pepper, Lily Petrie, Millie Giovanni, and John Roberts. But I feel A, that old system wouldn't work, and B, actually one of the main things about this is just de-scoping the game. I've got lots of things I want to add, and getting stuck in the demo is not going to help me in that. So that's the point. descoping it. So now we've got 2 demo chapters. Henry Pepper versus Lily Petrie is going to be the first demo chapter. So yeah, and then I've also got a surprise feature that I've been kind of working on designing in the background. I haven't worked on the actual implementation yet. I say a surprise feature. It's more of a modification of our existing feature. But yes, I'm excited by that. So yeah, let's crack in. I think crack on. The first thing I just want to show is I want to jump over to this tutorial and just show the updated tutorial screen. And I think this shows what I'm talking about. So by default, you in the previous screen, you had Henry Pepper, red, green, blue recruit. And now the red recruit, the green recruit's been replaced by the character Lily Petrie. And you've got this versus. And I feel like that kind of comes across what we're trying to get is that they are against each other from the get-go. I'll try and fix that typo on next week. But yes, I also wanted to stress that this is a minimum of a 2-player game. So you cannot play it unless you have a friend to play it with. And so the next player that we can start as is Lily Petrie, and that's fine. And then we can jump into the demo. Technically, the game still works as a single-player game, but I added guards in just to limit that. So if we jump over to the code for the player select, essentially, I added in this can start function. Not can, that's can start game, right? My bad. Added in this can start game, and essentially it checks if the first 2 players have joined. This zone is tutorial player select, and then checks if the kind of base version also checks whether it has at least 2 players as well, which is important. Then if we jump into the game and join a different profile, I can show off the other cool feature that I've added to start this off. And we can talk through and have a look at that. Again, it's still a very work in progress feature. So you might notice on the top right, there is a newspaper delivered. Now, as we know, newspapers are kind of replacing letters. So if we go to the mansion, we get our newspaper. Stand in for a newspaper because it has no content, because it is a placeholder. Yes, the newspaper just comes up. There's no bar at the bottom. It just comes up and it's in your face. And then if you move away from it, it'll go away. And if you come back, it's not going to come back. That's fine. You don't need to see it twice if you go just walking past the camp. But if you press enter, you can join and enter the building, and that will give you the newspaper that you've already seen. So you can always catch a newspaper when you've missed it. And then if we come back out, it will go. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to kind of have this feature, and essentially, it's really simple. So in our desk manager, we basically have 2 functions: show newspaper and hide newspaper. If we show newspaper, we make it visible, and then we create a tween. So this code up here is just handling the tween in case it's already running, just to make sure that we stop it and then override our tweens, so we don't have the tween running at the same time. And then we rotate it, and we rotate it by 360, which is full rotation, of course, times the set amount of rotations, which is currently 3, so the amount of times it does a full rotation, and then plus or minus a little bit of an adjustment, just so that we can have it on the slant, so it looks visually interesting and different each time. And then parallel to that, we also scale out from 0 to 1, and just show like that scale comes every time as well. And then for the hiding, we literally do the opposite. So we just, from whatever the rotation is, we bring it back down to 0, and then we scale it down to 0. And then once that's run, we also just set the visibility to false. Yeah, gotta love tweens. Make these animations nice and simple and easy to implement. So yeah, I'm actually really excited for versus mode. I say versus mode, like the versus changes. And I think whilst there's lots of changes for me to do at the moment, I'm currently kind of rewriting the dialogue work that we've already done in the chapter, but actually in the grand scheme of things, it won't be that much different to what we've already seen. And I think that having a little bit more robust versus mode, as in you're going to have a leaderboard of like, this is who's winning, and as you play through the levels, you'll want to up that. And what's nice is that's kind of a versus between your friends as well. So yes, I feel much better that we are in a position to, yeah, this is what game development's about. Like, we're in a position to improve it. And yes, technically I could push on with the demo, but personally I was not happy with it. So yes, if you want to follow and keep updates on the newspaper changes and all of the other changes, the versus changes, all of that, and the improvements we're making to Archaeology Rush, then feel free to subscribe and follow. And if you've got any feedback or any thoughts, then feel free to whack a comment down. And lastly, also, just a reminder, you can play the game on itch.io. Not promising it works because it is an in-development version. You can also play the old demo and kind of get a vibe of like last year's demo. And it looks like it's going to take us a year to release another demo, but I'm confident that we'll maybe get this done in October. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful week, and goodbye.